The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here on the Pace Network's YouTube channel and Facebook pages, podcasted afterwards at paceradio.net. Good evening, Tamara. How are you doing?
I'm okay, Al. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Your volume's a little low. You might have to get a little closer to your mic there.
My mic? I don't have a mic. I'm just sitting in front of my stupid computer.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe it's just me. I'm in a different spot tonight, so maybe it's...
Are you in a bigger room or a smaller room? Because you were in a pretty small area before.
Right. Well, I was in my before in my old place. I was in a small office. Now I'm sort of in I don't know what you call this, weight room, training. I don't know, exercise room. new location completely, and I got my banners back behind me as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you feel a little more comfy, right? Like when you get
everything. Oh yeah, I feel more comfortable, and then Gail's not walking around in the background during the broadcast, right?
Oh, come on. We love to see Gail. Come on. That's part of the show now. Now we won't get to see Gail.
Oh yeah. She enjoyed that one time they're coming up and saying hi to everybody during the broadcast.
I like seeing her too. Tell her to come and wander through every time. That's part of that.
Yeah.
That's part of the show.
Instead of being upstairs in the kitchen, I'm like 10 feet from the bedroom door now.
She can still hear you, right?
She'll be able to hear us. That's right. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Hi, Gail. Here's everyone's in tonight.
She says hi.
Because the other night when the last show, you had your earbuds on. She was in the background, and everybody was saying hi to her, but she couldn't hear us. But now,
Right. Yeah. No earbuds tonight. So yeah, she can hear you tonight.
Right. So what's going on? What's going on in Ontario? What's shaking with the weather? What's going on? What's new?
Well, we had another storm today. We got another warning. Yeah, it passed though.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, it
did. We're under that too.
I heard lots of thunder. I saw some dark clouds, but I saw very little rain. So I was glad about that.
We got flood warnings all over the province because it's snow melts now coming because it's decided to be. It's like 21st of June solstice, and all of a sudden somebody clicked on the switch for the sun. Because before that it was like 10 degrees, right? Today it was 23 degrees, and everything's like melting like crazy really quickly now because, like I said, it's like somebody turned on the sun yesterday.
23
degrees, 10 degrees yesterday to 23 degrees today. That's supposed to be 27 by Sunday.
Is it? Well, we got more than 10 degrees on you. I believe Al posted today that it was 36 in Toronto.
Yeah, I've heard that you guys are going through heat waves.
Yeah, it was 31 here.
My peonies aren't even blooming, and I've got pictures, like how Facebook sends you the reminders and
stuff.
Yeah,
reminders.
There's my peonies in full bloom like 2 weeks prior. They're not even
ours got great big balls on them, great big heads on them.
No, not mine. Mine are still little. Like they're there, but they're not blooming. I'm just come on, get going.
So how's the new job and the Progies going?
Job's great. Progies are progressing. We're gonna do another sale on July 1st in the park for the Canada Day celebration. I'm not, really thrilled about. I'm not going to celebrate Canada Day. I'm gonna go take all those idiots' money and give it to the Ukrainians.
You're going to go raise the money for the Ukraine.
I know there's going to be a bunch of them motherfuckers out there, right? Yeah. We know this, right? They had a fucking float in our parade in 1 second in the Sam Steele Day parade.
I've seen that.
Handing out their fucking literature. So anyway, we're going to go out there and we're going to hang our Ukrainian
Progies.
And we're going to sell as many Progies as we can.
That's right. Hope you sell out.
And give it all to the Ukrainians. Yeah, that's my plan.
Now, it sounded like today you got off a little earlier than normal from work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I got to work on Saturday because we've got 2
Okay.
catering jobs back to back.
I-
So I work weekends and evenings as well sometimes because if we've got a
Right.
catering in the evening, I do evening work. And then I also, this weekend, we have a memorial and a wedding. And we get to go and cater 120 people wedding and drop off appetizers for another 120 for a memorial. So we've been prepping all day today and tomorrow and Friday we'll be prepping and making the food. So we started today with making spana paquita appetizers and meatballs yesterday and all the little stuff that because everything's homemade from scratch and we got to
Yeah.
make
Nice.
120 sausage rolls tomorrow and so we're prepping for 240 people event on the weekend. If you combine the two, that's 240 people that we got to feed.
Yep. Bake, cook.
A lot of cooking and a
That's
lot of
right. Sounds like it.
and my boss is amazing.
Don't forget to cook for yourself.
You know what I do is I bring home the frozen stuff, pop it in the oven, so when I'm done my show, my dinner will be ready.
There you go. That works.
Right? I cook it at work. We freeze it like we do. That's what it is. It's frozen chef too. Is also like part of the business. So
Right.
she pivoted during COVID. She had already was a frozen did frozen meals anyways. So to pivot for COVID, so we still continue with the same menu. So we're making lasagna and shepherd's pie and teriyaki pork and all kinds of different quinoa. There's so many of them. Cabbage rolls, and so we have a whole fridge full of take-home meals that you buy, and then we also make chicken pot pies and turkey pot pies, and literally we roast the chicken and we roast the turkey and we pick the meat off the bones, and it's made from scratch.
That's just like at home.
It's home cooking, all home cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good.
Yeah.
It's too bad you live so far away. I stopped down and grabbed something, but
Right, you could, and hopefully, within any luck, in the next 5 years, the Canadian government or whoever the fuck holds the little strings that makes things move will actually allow us to do infused foods, and I will finally be able to
be nice.
infused food business like I've always wanted.
Right.
So. Had to get myself trained in the restaurant business first, right? So
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. What do you say? Time to bring in our guest?
He can wait.
He's agreeing with you.
Anyway, he has his own show. Like, what do we? Yeah.
He put himself in jail. In jail.
How do you do that?
Let's just bring our guest in.
Oh, you mean he's back in Facebook jail again?
No. He's in jail. You'll see. Yes. He's just like
I see the back. He's got himself in a one room cell.
All right. There, we'll bring him on. Here's our guest. Welcome, Al Rapp, the Pace Radio Show. How you doing, Al?
You're kind of looking like somebody that shouldn't. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
See his bed's off to one side over his left shoulder.
My new house.
It's his new house. Yeah, you heard he bought a house, right? This is the new house.
Oh my God, that's
101 square feet.
1 by 1 room. And you get one shower 24 hours.
I haven't found I haven't found the toilet yet.
Oh, I thought I saw a little silver thing over your right shoulder.
That's the school. Haven't you ever seen a jail cell before, Al?
That's a desk. That's where you're supposed to, then there's no mirror on this, so you can't see yourself, right? So there's no mirror.
No mirrors, no. Or I don't think that's a window either. No, it's a hutch.
I think that's probably the kitchen venting into your room. Or the bathroom. It looks like a big vent, though.
You made me hungry sitting there waiting for you in the lobby with all this.
Tamara talking about all that food.
Hi, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Highlight of the
show. Darcy's wife runs by all the time.
Does she?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Darts by.
See, like in the old place, I was always in the office.
In the basement. Yes, I'm going to becoming a basement dweller as soon as I renovate the basement.
Yeah. Well, I'm in a partial basement. This is a basement to the house. It's the bottom floor, it's not a full depth basement.
Okay,
you know,
so
still
half
windows.
of it's above ground and half of it's under.
Correct. Yeah.
Does it make it cooler
But you know, when
cooler
what
down?
was it? 80. What was it? Like 85, 90 degrees today, Al?
It's 36 is what it said on my car today.
Wow.
So
And,
and then you got to factor in another 10 degrees of blech.
Yeah.
And like I know you're not supposed to leave your car running, but if Rose is in the car, I leave the car running, and I really, really regret anybody even going near the car to see if she's okay, because she's fine. She like got the air conditioner on. She's sitting there in the back with her pillow. Right?
Al, huh? You should introduce Al, because you didn't introduce him. You just said.
Well, that's because we've known each other for years.
Yes.
I mean that everybody else knows who the heck you are. So you better.
I never said that you're with 420 Radio.ca. I never mentioned that you're the host of the Pace Radio, or the host of the 420 Radio show.
Yes,
I didn't. You know, there's other things too.
He has a list in front of him, I guarantee you.
Of course he does.
I wouldn't say it's a list, but I do have a notepad here with some things on it.
I'm not worthy of a list, eh?
Well, I've got about you know, I've had my days. I remember when I first started doing these radio shows, I had 9 pages of questions.
Yeah.
And you get like 3, 4 questions sometimes. You know, it's just
you make you
leads to the other.
Worry about content, right? You don't worry about content, and then it just goes. It just flows.
We used to use that template when we were doing stuff. We'd have that template where I tried to keep everything in time, but you know, you put 4 people with mics on and ADHD and ADD and other things, and yeah, whatever happens. I don't even try anymore. I just
went and got medicine. I actually went and got a diagnosis, and I'm taking medication for my ADHD.
What are you taking?
Oh, Ritalin. It's working really well.
You know, I am a Ritalin baby. You know that, and yeah, I wish you hadn't done that. But if it's working for you, okay.
It is. It's working really well. It makes it so
why did you choose Ritalin? Why not Concerta or even Dexedrine or something?
This is the first one. It wasn't a choice. This is what the psychiatrist started me with. And I now have my GP who could change me if I need to be, but I find that it's working.
1 in the morning, 1 at night?
No. 1 in the morning and 1 4 hours later. And
10 milligrams?
No. 5 and 5.
Wow.
So just a very low dose, like just 5 in the morning, like when I get up, and 5 4 hours later, and then I'm good.
See, so I stopped taking all of my medicine except for stuff, you know, like there's some things that even Al has to still take, right? Pills.
Yeah.
So I've stopped taking antidepressants, anything for ADHD. I was on Wellbutrin for a long time, drove me nuts, made me angry. Now I'm just medicating with cannabis and shrooms. That's it. And then metformin for my diabetes, and you know, Flomax for my flow, and you know, things that you.
Yeah, and you know what? I did everything. Like I tried, even with the rheumatoid arthritis. Like CETA was sending me everything under the sun. Tumor confused, whatever. Stop.
I don't miss that, Tamara. I don't miss that.
Don't miss the parking.
I don't miss that.
This is a new one that doesn't shut up. But anyways, before I tapped on and went and got the methotrexate for my rheumatoid arthritis, I was in bed. I was in so much pain I couldn't move. And literally, like CETA did, we tried everything. I was not really.
The depression compounds it.
Well, the attention deficit made me have anxiety really bad too. Yep. I didn't have anxiety, but I wasn't taking.
It trips everything. It just trips it.
But I didn't realize what was going on. So I tried, like I said, I've been smoking cannabis for like 30 years, and it wasn't helping my attention deficit at all. Like it was making things worse. And I don't know if it's because I'm premenopausal, but everything was really causing me to really look for answers. So I did. I went and saw a psychiatrist and got a diagnosis after my mom went, "Oh yeah, you were diagnosed when you were 4." But you know, that doesn't count now 50 years later, right? So I got a diagnosis. I've been taking it now for, I guess, 2 months. And I said to Al the first time I took it, was one of our first Pace radio shows. And I usually was sitting here like this the whole show because my leg would always be going, always.
Yeah.
And now I said halfway through the show, I said to Al, I'm sitting still. My legs stopped shaking. And that was the first thing I really noticed, is that I'm not binging and I'm not shaking my leg, and I'm not just sitting like this all the time.
That's actually a release, and it's a good thing to do. I do it daily, all the time. Doesn't matter where I am, I'm shaking, and it's just a release. It's like the medicine that people take for Parkinson's is what causes the shaking, not Parkinson's itself. Parkinson's actually makes you stop doing everything, you know.
Right.
But with medicine for ADHD, it's like cannabis, to each his own, whatever works for you. Just, I will say one thing: watch the prolonged effects, as because I now have a mood disorder, and a lot of it was caused by the medication that I was on, very high doses of Ritalin and Dexedrine right through the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Right.
You know, I was a case study at the Hinks Clinic in Toronto in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah. See, Mom said that when I was diagnosed in 74, they tried the medicine. I didn't do anything. It didn't help.
Yeah.
It really works. So they just didn't bother, right? But now I'm noticing what they said. Hang on, I'm going to make. I will.
I do that. It's.
Oh, look out, puppy! Here she comes.
Darcy has birds, so we hear them going off. He has to cover them.
Oh yeah.
On the show.
Yeah, Tamara has the dogs over there. She's got 10 of them. Yeah. So there's only one yapping. That's not bad considering that she's got 10.
Wow.
10. Yeah, 10.
You don't have enough to do?
No, she works and volunteers for 12 hours a day.
Yeah. And then I've got the dogs. No, this one is new, and the other ones don't bark much. And he's the one that's yappy. It's the Yorkie that makes the noise, not the Chihuahuas.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, he's a little bit yappy, but he's a pup, and we just got him.
Give him some weed, he'll shut up.
No, he's chasing the cat around, so he's playing with the cat, so that's why he's barking.
Oh, okay. So he's actually playing.
Yeah, he's playing, but now
when Steven walks around meow, meow, all the time, and he's really just doing the same thing that Rosa does, talking to me. But it reminds me of an old friend who screeched when she was angry, and it's a trigger. I can sit there. I hear I'll be glad I got new neighbors upstairs who are bangers, new neighbors downstairs who are bangers, and kids down the hall who run up and down the hall and slam doors, and I'm not going to miss that.
we have a comment from a viewer.
Oh.
Yeah, he says, "Bye-bye, puppy." When you got up, Tamara, it went after him. That's Scott Granville. Scott is the guy behind the music for our intro.
Yes, I know who's Scott. Yeah. Recognize the name, but
St. Fatty's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like I said, they're just, you have to have you have to have them. They're just a necessity. But when I got him, I wasn't working. I know.
There he goes. Steven, shut up.
Oh, you can bring your cat to jail.
Yes, it's a perk. Yes. I for good behavior.
Get to rub some fur.
Yeah, they're allowed to bring your pet to jail.
So you're finding that it's helping you, and you're finding that cannabis is making you a little bit too anxious.
No, the cannabis is fine. It wasn't doing enough, is what the deal was. It wasn't enough, and because I can't seriously, I'm not doing anything anymore where I'm making any extra, so I have nothing that I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
It's costing a lot of money, and I can't afford to be. And honestly, I can't be sleeping all day, and I can't be sitting at home smoking cannabis all day. It just wasn't enough. So I had to tap. And I'm not smoking any less cannabis. I still smoke like it's a give or take, right? So I smoke as much cannabis as I did before. And on the weekend, I don't take my medication when I don't have to be focused and organized. But I'm looking around my house and realizing it looks like a 5-year-old was in here. Everything's just scattered and not put away or organized. And I'm looking
Except
through
for that view right behind her. That's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
Exactly.
But if you look over here, there's still stuff from my basement, from when the basement flooded, that I haven't gotten to putting away. And I look like my bedroom doors, for example. Okay, I bought paint for those bedroom doors 3 years ago, and I striped it down and did this with it to like the colors, and they sat like that for 3 fucking years. The other day, I'm looking at them going, "Are you kidding me? Like I never finished those fucking."
You know what? That's menial tasks, which is one of the major traits. Unfortunately, ADHD and ADD have most, if not all, the traits of mental health that is known to man.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
So I went and bought paint. And I was like obsessed, like hyper focused on it, of course. That's what you do with attention deficit too. But those doors got painted. But now I'm good. They're done. I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's like move on to the next task. It's finished. Where before it's like and I still do 100 things on the go and 3,000 projects and nothing is finished. It's like a fucking crazy woman lived here.
Squirrel. That's what you call yourself, right? Squirrel.
Exactly, a squirrel. But seriously, it looks like a fucking crazy person lived here. And I'm looking around going,
you look at something and say, okay, I do this today, and you go over there and you grab something from there, and then you take it to wherever you're going, and then when you get there, the what you're doing becomes something new because some shiny object over in the corner over there grabs you. You go, oh yeah, right, I gotta do that too, and then you grab that, and then next thing you know, you're over here doing something else.
Exactly, and they say it's multitasking and it's a good trait. No, it's not if you're not finishing any of it. It's all great to start something, but if you're never finishing or completing anything, that's just a half a job.
That can be strain related too, though, when you're using cannabis.
Yeah. I would try to stay away from those.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, like I said, I told you that story about the time I went to plant those 2 plants, right, Al? Where I went and I put the plant pots beside the door, and that was my only task for the day. Was going to go get dirt for these 2 fucking plants that I was going to plant. 8 hours later, those 2 plant pots were still sitting at the door with no dirt in them, and I had washed floors and did dishes and laundry and everything in between to get out that door to get dirt for the fucking plants. Like, that's how ridiculous. Like I said, I felt like I was going fucking crazy, honestly. So this is helping, and that's that's all I can say is yes, it's helping. Whether people want to like it, and drugs or whatever, sometimes pharmaceuticals aren't for everybody. But it is what it is, right?
I'm still taking biological drugs with the having to go into.
It's not like I gave up cannabis and decided to become a pharmaceutical junkie or anything like that.
No.
That's not. I still smoke as much cannabis. It's just that I have to take the folic acids because of the methotrexate, because of my, rheumatoid arthritis, and then I don't take any pain pills.
Okay, we got a question from Scott. Scott asks, Al Rapp, you're in jail. Was it Warkworth?
No.
Yeah, Warkworth's not far.
No, it's around the corner. Although, you know what? I've only driven through it going down to that restaurant just outside of Coburg. Coburg?
Yeah, well, it's north east of Coburg. Warkworth is a little community within Trent Hill. It's got the.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There's not. It's.
I've not been. I've not been there specifically, but I've been through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the last I knew, it had about 600 people.
Really?
Yeah, but it might have grown. It might have grown. The numbers might be up to 1,000 now. Maybe.
There's that little town on the other side of Rice Lake that's really cute, that has a restaurant there that I might go try this week.
Oh, yeah. Just so you know, Scott says that he played soccer against the inmates in 1980-81, at least twice. There you go.
That means you were there too, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Who knows? You never know. He might have met my mom. Now, my mom wasn't there as an inmate. My mom would go in there and with a church-related thing, she would go in there. So I've never been in the place, but I've been by it several hundred times because I used to live in the area, right? So,
Was there a jail there?
Workworth? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, large penitentiary. Yeah, that's where
I
Peter
didn't know
Dillon-
that. I had no idea.
Oh yeah. Maximum or medium security. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That close? I didn't know.
Yeah. When you drive down Highway 30, you can, as you go past the four corners of Workworth, it's not the downtown four corners, but Highway 30 and 29, you can see the light in the sky. You can't see the buildings, but you can see the
It's probably the light pollution I see from my place at night.
Yeah, it could be because the sky's lit up sort of orangey.
It's only
It's
what,
like a
10
small
kilometers.
town, right?
Yeah, it's only 10 kilometers
Oh
away.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, they all are. Like they're all little communities. My brother.
I had no idea. Is it an old jail or is it a new jail?
Yeah.
They're all
No, it's older jail.
Oh,
Older jail. Yeah. Exactly.
My brother's
All
got
right.
like works in 1-2 in Alberta, right? For the last 3 years.
Yeah.
He's the second drug handling dog. He's on dog 2.
Yeah. All right. I got a question for you, Al.
oh boy.
Oh boy, this is gonna have to take you back a ways, and one that we occasionally like to ask our guests, and sometimes they get a serious answer, sometimes we get a very funny answer. And what about the first time you ever smoked cannabis?
In Amsterdam, in a hash bar in the 70s.
Amsterdam.
Yes. It was the first time I smoked cannabis.
Nice. Now,
We were there,
I guess
we were there, the whole family, for what we used to call the European vacation, in a VW camper, driving all the way around Europe, down the Rhine River and all that. And we went to Amsterdam to a hash bar in the red light district. We could see the shows going on in the window. And I had my first rum and coke. Oh, I don't know if it was my first rum and coke, but I smoked my first joint in Amsterdam. Yeah.
first joint in Amsterdam.
And then I didn't smoke until I was 19. Like I didn't start.
So you weren't somebody like I was 13.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was around it. I had it and I could get it. And so I knew what it was, but I was always told don't smoke your own supply. So I didn't. My doctor at 16 told me that if I was smoking pot, to stop taking the Ritalin.
To stop smoking.
No, to stop taking Ritalin.
Oh,
They asked me at 16 if I wanted to continue Ritalin and Dexedrine. And I said no. And my doctor said, okay, well, if you start smoking pot, you might as well quit using the Ritalin then. Basically, he was telling me to switch, which I didn't do until I was 19 or so. I've been smoking probably not daily since I was 19, but maybe my 30s anyways.
Yeah.
I started smoking a lot of cannabis when I moved to Mount Forest. In Toronto, it was harder to get. I lived near Little Jamaica, so I would have to go for a little walk and get a $20 dime bag,
Yeah.
Different now,
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's different now.
For sure, exactly. Some people have some really good stories about that, but I haven't had anybody tell me they had their first doobies over in Amsterdam.
Well, it's kind of fitting.
Yeah.
And it's sad now. It's sad now that they're trying to remove that culture, because my mom took me and my sister, and her girlfriend came, and her boyfriend and his son came eventually, and we literally went from England down the Rhine River to the French Riviera, Italy, Germany. We camped in the Black Forest. I mean, it was a different time. Most of the places that we stayed at were nudist camps and nudist camping and resorts and stuff like that in Europe, because that's where my mom was back then. That's where you are now, right? So, you know, it's a whole different. I love
it's a different lifestyle.
I love the fact that I grew up in Toronto because it's one of the most diverse cities in the world.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you were in around the beaches?
No, I grew up in Yorkville.
Right, okay, that's where I was looking for.
Yeah, I went to school at Jesse Ketchum, and I hung out at lunch. We used to go and watch the Bob McLean show in Cumberland Terrace. Yeah,
Bob McLean show.
Yep. Nope. Yeah, that's how long time it was. One of
exactly.
It was one of the first TV shows, like full studios, that was inside a mall. It started that kind of trend, right?
Yeah.
You know, we used to walk up and down Yonge Street. I used to do the bike-a-thon 3-4 times. You know, it was a different place. Now there's shootings, muggings, carjackings every day. I saw 3 articles today on carjackings. Hi, dogs.
Mute. Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of that's going on. Unfortunately, that's never good. Because I know I always enjoy when we used to go to the city all the time. It was always a good time down there.
I hear gunshots out back here. I'm at Victoria Park in Eglinton, and it's a very populated area. And there's a park back here that's, you know, nice sized park. It's one of the hydro line parks, and you hear shots back there all the time. That's
crazy. That's totally crazy. Like even here, like I'm in a small town. We've had 3 incidents with guns in the last week.
I'm used to the gunshots. I'm used to it because at the farm you hear them all the time. You hear gun blasts all the time. Al, you knew that.
Yeah. All right. Just so you know, it's break time.
Okay.
We just been shooting the shit.
Yeah.
You used to have half an hour. Just it didn't take long, did it?
No.
All right. After break we go. We'll continue the conversation with Al when we get back. This is Pace Radio Show. We are live here on the Pace Radio Network. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponics system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
Let's share Pace everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
PACE Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. Hey, welcome back. We are the Pace Radio Show, and we are being broadcasted live on our YouTube channel as well as on Facebook pages and podcasted afterwards at paceradio.net. Today in the program, Tamara, as well as we are joined by our guest, Al Rapp of 420 Radio. Well, guys, before the break, we were talking about ADHD and how we're medicating with cannabis and Ritalin with it. And as the show got started at the beginning, we talked about how many questions we would used to have, like 9 pages of them. I had 3 questions for that first segment, and I got one. Got one done. Got one in. But I did have a question that did come from Scott again. He was asking Tamara. He wants to know what she was smoking.
Well, if I could ever get this dog to shut up. It's Bandwagon from Homestead.
The dogs aren't on that bandwagon now.
Can you see me, Al? Because I just see a spinny scene here.
Oh, I can see you.
Okay.
Yeah. At least I can see you. Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe drop me down and bring me back up. Maybe it'll fix it.
Yeah, no, I can see you.
Can you? Okay. Yeah. I just see a thing spinning. That's all I see.
Some fish
hang on a second.
Like fishing gear. Now you've scoped yourself out of jail, and now you got fishing gear behind you. So
yes, I went to
SpongeBob.
I went to Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, no. So
Look at all the comments here. I didn't know that I could see them. I've never sat in this position. I can see everything.
Right. Yeah, because you're on the guest end of things tonight instead of on the controlling things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I got that first question in the first segment. I'm gonna see if I can at least get one in the second one. And that has to do with radio start. What got you started involved in radio?
Music mostly. I was bored. And I needed something to do, and met a few people who had similar interests, and just started lifestyle radio as a alternative to mainstream for different subjects that you wouldn't normally hear. And we all grew older and went to pot, so to speak. And here we are, 15 years later.
15 years. Yeah. I remember you and I were talking about, because lifestyleradio.net,
.ca I still have. I don't have .net anymore.
No, I know, but you did at one time.
Yep.
And then I remember you were discussing with me as well as, I'm thinking about going to 420 radio, because
it was the way that it was going, and I got that URL mostly for the show, for the 420 radio show. and it just kind of evolved after legalization. I was just like, you know what? I've got the URL. I might as well use it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's how my
So,
start was on Lifestyle 420 Radio.
Yeah.
That's where Cannabis and Coffee started with marijuana.
It was.
yeah.
It was. Yep, I'll give me my start, and I appreciate everything he's done. But that's where Cannabis and Coffee started. It was on 420.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 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 And yeah, it's been around for, like you say, 15 years. And at that time,
Yep.
I was sort of.
I had. Let's see. I've had a lot of different co-hosts. Amy Brown did the show with me for a few years. There are many that I don't even remember their names, but what started as me and Dave and then Brian just getting stoned and doing whatever and fucking with telemarketers and having fun, but then we started doing interviews, and then we started going out to events and walking around and broadcasting just from our phones, right?
Right.
And then Al came along, and I've had 6 different reimagining of Lifestyle Radio and 420 Radio already in 15 years, probably. It's ever evolving,
They're always evolving. Exactly. Things.
Trying. I mean, right now things are I'm just kind of looking after me, but I'm not doing. I not doing anything. In July, we decided to take a break, which we usually do. It gets stale after a while. It's like now it's me and Marcel and Mary Jane and Darcy and Lenny, and then we have guests now and then. But I mean, as Al and I were talking about not too long ago, a lot of guests like cancel or even ask for funds now, and it's not what we're doing. It's
like when I sent you some information the other day, you turned around and sent me, oh, I got cancer, I got a sore toe.
Ants
bit me on my balls.
Right? I know it gets frustrating. Like, that's why Cannabis and Coffee is not. It's pointless trying to get people out of bed at 8 a.m. in Vancouver, or even trying to line up anything in the morning. And after legalization, it got really tough because anybody that was in the legal market can't talk. They've got NDAs and all MDRs and all this other stupid shit.
I don't know. Len is the CEO of Churro Cannabis.
Talking about Myrna and that, that's who I asked. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And then anybody who's in the gray market doesn't want to talk because they don't want anybody letting, and then COVID hit and all our events got canceled. There's nothing to report on. It just kind of dried up into dust. And it was like, and then me and Loretta tried Canada Quebec, and the content out of Quebec really wasn't enough either. There just wasn't any content. So why beat a dead horse if there's no content? You might as well just call it a day, move on, try something else, pivot. But I mean, there's only so many ways you can pivot when there's no content.
Right? I mean, I prefer having guests on, but I mean, I have 3 guys sitting there that know, there's so much knowledge sitting there with those guys, and I like to ask questions. So that's what we do. We have conversations about growing and what you're smoking and how you're making shit, and kind of like it's supposed to be, I guess. I don't know.
Sitting around the campfire having a discussion.
Yeah, I wish we could have done that one last time, but this is the last week I'm up at the farm. So
right.
It was like the first weekend I was there. I was like, Al, Mary Jane, get over here. Let's do a show. We're like out there. It was like -6. Wasn't that? We had a huge fire though. We had a huge fire though.
Yes. And I think Mary Jane, she came in some. Her
onesies. She's always wearing her onesies. Yes,
her onesies. Tamara, I see you got another dog.
Oh yeah, because you have one, you gotta have more, right? But yeah, it's in order to keep them quiet. I'll just keep them. Yeah.
There you go.
She'll disappear soon.
Show off. Show off the dogs.
Now,
I'm
back,
over here, right? So yeah.
15 years ago, when you started doing the audio end of things and podcasting, I think we've sort of touched on this in our own private conversations. Whereas at one time there wasn't a lot of podcasters in the cannabis end, but it seems that over the years there's just so many now.
It's oversaturated now. That's why people are. There's just everybody's got to have a podcast, and everybody's got to be it, and everybody's got to be an influencer, and why? You know, we have an agenda. Our agenda is to educate people about cannabis and have some fun.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like it or not, period. Sometimes sitting there talking to the same people every week is boring and tedious, but they're a great bunch of guys.
Right.
And we usually end up having some really intelligent conversations, or they do anyways.
And you're officiating it in the middle. Hey.
I'm trying my best to stay on track and keep the agenda going, because I have ADHD up the wazoo, as we talk about. Yeah. Sometimes having a conversation with me is like having a conversation with Linda Blair.
Geez, you could have several conversations then.
Well, multitasking is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when you started out with lifestyle radio and doing the podcasting, I'm going to assume it was always on Spreaker.
No, at the beginning, the only thing that was available was Shoutcast, which it was a way to broadcast a radio format kind of thing, not illegally, but not legally. It gives you now. It was what they called pirate radio on the internet, basically, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I like it is because I'm sitting in my home on internet that I pay for, not a company. You can't inflict your censorship on me, really. Although Facebook tries.
Okay. Yeah, they do.
The only real issues that I've had, and believe me, I've had a lot of strikes, but the only real issues I've had with social networks or social media networks like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that is from music. And that sucks, because all we're doing is introducing a new band or playing a new song from an existing band and trying to promote them. I'm not asking for anything for it, but they deem that as you're using our music to promote your show.
Right. Yeah. Well, we ended up having to change a lot of our audio. You probably noticed tonight. It was a different intro music.
Yep.
And that was because of getting hit with copyright claims.
Yep.
Yeah, they
on the Facebook end.
Yep. It was YouTube too, because they wouldn't. They said it was copyright too, and then we have to. Facebook, we have to dispute it.
Yeah.
I recently, like within the last year, I've had thousands of reversals, copyright reversals, where they release the video, and they because basically what they do now is if you insert something or put something in a podcast or a live video that is copywritten, and they, the keywords or whatever picks it up, all they do is they take that out. You have that choice now. They don't just delete the video, they take that out. Okay. Not always. If you play a YouTube video with copyright music in it, chances are your whole video is going to be deleted. I don't like that.
Be deleted, gone.
That I don't like. I mean, but I understand the artists want to get paid. But what happened to promotion? I mean, that's why we're doing it. We're not doing it to get paid. I don't make any money at this. Do you, Al?
No, I know, no.
You know,
And a lot of times, the music that any music I was playing was something that wasn't mainstream.
I've had the band on the show playing their videos and gotten a copyright strike. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what I was told was that even though somebody from the band, for example, I had permission from Brad at the Killing Time band to use It Doesn't Make Sense.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bang, I got these notices coming in at me from Facebook and appealing things left and right and all that. And I just said, oh, like this.
Not worth it. But the shitty thing is it also happens with stuff that you have permission to use.
Yeah.
That's the shitty thing.
And what I was told, even though that person might give me permission, like Brad did, there's others that are involved in that song.
It's not Brad. It's the record company or whoever's
Correct.
marketing that band.
Exactly.
Even though record companies are slowly disappearing, they're buying up big labels now. The big labels are buying up the smaller labels, which are buying up the catalogs, right? And it's killing a lot of artist familiarity, getting the artist out there, recognition, whatever you want to call it. I mean, most artists want their names to be out there, and they put stuff on YouTube. But then if you use a YouTube video of something an artist has put on there in something any other than viewing it, you get a copyright strike. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. It's too bad. So now back then in those days, like I would imagine right now, like when you use, you're no longer just doing audio, you're doing video now, right?
We were doing video, but we weren't broadcasting the video. We were sitting on, as you know, we were sitting on, Hangouts for a while, and then Skype for a while, and then Skype started getting bogged down when they added it to Facebook, so we started using Hangouts again, and so we could see each other. I found very quickly that if you can't see the other people that you're having the conversation with, doesn't, as far as doing the show itself, it doesn't work out as well. You can't see the facial expressions. A lot of times we were doing your show with no video at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We did.
It was the last ones to hold out though on video, to be honest. Like we did, like Al and I were like, meh. I don't think I ever did Cannabis and Coffee on video. We did Quebec.
We were on video.
Yeah,
but
correct. We're not broadcasting it.
Yeah. So I mean, this is it's not my thing.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and part of the reason why we were with the not using the video also helped the deal with bandwidth, or if we're calling somebody who was on a phone.
Right. And we, by not having video, we were able to go out and wander around events very freely with a cell phone and a microphone and a couple of headsets and do interviews. And we were doing them quite well. Sometimes they didn't always record that great, but usually it was I found it interesting. I mean, I like watching people wandering around with a camera or a microphone at events and doing interviews, and Cannabis Culture TV was there usually,
right?
But that was it, and us, at one time. I mean, we started doing it. I think it was the second Treating Yourself show that Dave and I went, and did, and then Kelly and I went and did it, and Amy and I went and did it, and and then no more treating yourself.
Yeah.
And we started doing it. We started doing Karma Cup and all the other events, which I'm going to miss, because now I'm not going to be able to go to an Indigenous Cup with you this summer.
Yeah. Yes. Well, for anybody who hasn't known, you're on the move.
I'm moving. I'm out of here. I'm gone. Going north, real high north, up to Thunder Bay.
Really north.
Yes.
He's probably about as north as you, Tamara.
And
what
you
the
know
hell
what?
Thunder Bay for? What's up?
I'm going to Terrace Bay, actually, not Thunder Bay, which is 2.5 hours shy of Thunder Bay.
Wow. So you're going right way north.
Yeah, but you know what? I've been looking at maps and stuff, and it's not that far up north. There's a lot more.
It's only 13 hours from here.
Yeah, there's a lot of north still to go, which I may go do. You know what I mean? I've been up there. I've been up there 3 times. In fact, Kelly and Dean are 2 people that I was involved with starting the radio station, and they had their own shows back then, and they also had F&A Extreme, which is their own radio station. So I was helping build that and running this and dealing with weird people, and I like it's quiet now. I've got my own shit going on. I do my show. I run Michael's show. Michael's been doing coverage radio for 8 years. He was my neighbor in Durham. He lived across the hall from me.
Yeah, and that's a music show.
Yeah, it's all music, and I get a lot of copyright hits on that, but everything is submitted. So, if you want to remove the song, you go right ahead. Right? It sucks because Mike puts a lot of work into it, and then he'll do a show, and like if Passion was still doing the reggae stuff, I don't think he could get away with it now, to be honest with you. Broadcasting as we are, like, you can't fire up Facebook. You can't put this on Facebook and play a song unless the band is sitting right there on camera.
Right?
Yeah, because Passion show was just all music. So
it was when he wasn't talking.
When he wasn't talking, yeah.
I missed that show. That was the #1 show on 420 radio. It still gets a lot of listens, right?
I agree. Yeah. It does.
Yep. I've tried to mimic it, but no, I'm not Jamaican. It doesn't work out.
Well, last week on the broadcast, we had a Juno Award winner doing some songs from Jamaica.
Who's that?
Teresa Kozak was on to deal with the Hot Box, and Correction, which is his stage name.
Yep.
Was on with her, and he was a Juno Award winner for reggae music here in Canada. He spent a little more than 20 years here in Canada, and so he did parts of 2 songs, and I didn't get any notices.
No, because he was there singing himself. Yeah, Correction. Yeah, I actually looked him up. My son does know who he is, because I guess you got to be in that age, between the ages of 18 and 30 to know who some of these, especially Canadian artists, because they don't promote as much as they should be, especially out west here. Out west we don't hear a lot of the local great, musicians from Toronto, and because we're out west, especially in bumfuck wherever I am, Hickville and in the Rockies, we don't.
I'm looking forward to not hearing anything.
It's almost worse in the middle of bumfuck prairie.
You're gonna be able to survive without going to concerts, Al?
Yeah, I'm going to see Bachman Cummings on the 19th with David, and that'll be his first concert. I took Emily to her first concert too. We went and saw Sorry, I forgot. No, it's one of those bands that's not a regular name. It'll come to me, but yes and no. I don't. I went and saw James Taylor last month before, and at the Air Canada Center, or sorry, at the Scotiabank Center. And
What's it called now?
I really enjoyed going, but I didn't enjoy going alone. Because people aren't sociable like they used to. I used to go to the Forum quite often, and went down at Ontario Place, and whoever was you became friends with that row.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, how are you? They're like.
Now it's exactly, exactly. Well,
yeah, I think I'll be okay because there's waterfall and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I seen a picture of that. I'm gonna get back to that waterfalls when we come back from the commercial break.
Okay.
All right.
Another
After commercial we go. Tamara and I will continue our conversation with our guest, Rapp. You're watching and listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here on our social media. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own cannabis is easier than you think. Whether you're growing for recreational or medical purposes, BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. From the standard 4-plant recreational systems to the latest cutting-edge hydroponic equipment, BMA can customize your package and do it at discount prices. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and ask us for a free estimate. Or call 613-967-9888 and we will give you an estimate over the phone. The only way to go.
In February of 2022, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and Ted Smith were fined $6.5 million. This for helping 8,500 patients with access to medical cannabis. In our interview with Ted, he spoke to us about how people can donate to help in an upcoming court challenge. And here is part of that interview. From what I've seen lately, I believe that you've got something that you're trying to do as far as fundraising to deal with this next court challenge.
For now, people can write checks directly to Jack Lloyd Law Corporation or send e-transfers to save the VCBC at gmail.com. I guess those are the two easiest ways for people to help right now.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to the program. Tonight on the show, Tamara and I are joined by our guest, Rapp of the 420 Radio Show. Oh, get all that in there. Well, before the break, Al, you were just starting to tell us about our waterfalls. Now I seen some picture that you posted, and you said that this place is just up the road from me or something.
Right
Like
across the street.
that waterfalls.
That
Like it looked
waterfall
like it was
is
in the mountains, man.
that's okay. I'm here, I'm here, and then there's another row of houses and then the forest.
Oh yeah.
Right across the street. And I can't remember the name of the river, but it flows into a gorge. There's like 2 or 3 different waterfalls that go down and empty into Lake Superior. And yes, it is mountainy. I mean, this is all forestry area.
Mm-hmm.
There's what do you call it? It's a mill, a pulp mill in town.
Okay.
So most of the people that live in town work at the pulp mill. And that's pretty much the industry that's up there. I mean, the further north you go, you get into more forestry and into where the ice roads are and all that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how big's the place? Like how big's Terrace Bay?
There are 358 homes in Terrace Bay, and 192 single people. I looked up the stats. Got to keep my options open. It's a small town, but like I said, I mean, I've been there a few times with my mom, visiting Dean and Kelly, and it's like if I literally went for a walk down the hill, I would come to that waterfall. Okay, you can't do that here. I mean, I have a stream behind my apartment building that smells like sludge, right?
Oh yeah, and you're talking about shootings and stuff at
Yeah.
the beginning of the broadcast.
Yeah.
Wow, that's craziness. Yeah, I'm glad that I don't live in a big city either. Like I said, but we've had shootings here, like not like and fireworks that are illegal, like homemade stuff going off, and minor, mid-rural population, nothing like gang violence. Our homeless population is really causing a lot of grief. We've got a lot of addiction and homelessness here, and there's a lot of thieving, a lot of theft, and that's all we hear about is bikes and canoes and this and that, and it's all like a lot of theft.
Here it's cars and the stuff that they get out of your catalytic converter.
Right.
That's what I mean. People, they just go into parking lots at night with a sledgehammer and cut it out. And
what is the purpose of that? Because I'm like
worth a lot of money.
Why?
The Radian.
Is it Radian now? Radian?
Who's buying that? And what's the purpose of them buying it for? Like I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not asking. I'm that naive.
No idea. I just know that it's a rare metal and it's worth a lot of money. So they buy it, they melt it, and they sell it. I don't know where they sell it or who they sell it to.
Right, but I mean, you just have to wonder, like, what in the hell would they? Why? Right, like, it seems a very odd thing. Anyway, people don't have any rhyme or reason for what they want to steal these days. It seems.
Some.
I don't. Like I said, it's really here. It's bikes and kids' bikes. Like Taven's got stolen last year. I got it back. Then he was all, it's tainted. I don't want it, which I can't blame. They ripped the brakes off, and it had been violated. He was 11 at the time, so the bike got back, and he just refused to ride it again. And so we got him another bike. Well, then the kid sprouted up like 5 inches, so he's riding his BMX and his ankle, like he's like this with like.
Now he needs a new one, and.
Well, he got a new one, but he's like towers over me now, which isn't really hard. I mean, still, but
he's a big lad.
He is.
For 12, like holy Christ.
Yeah, he's a big kid, but his dad's not small either, right?
David's getting tall as well. Yeah, he's like
his grandfather.
David's trying to grow whiskers. Is he trying to grow whiskers yet?
He's been shaving his little mustache.
Yeah. We finally talked David into shaving his little tuft of hair that was here, and I just said, if you shave now, it grows in thicker. Every time you shave, it grows in a little thicker.
We know,
like grass.
but yeah, so yeah, but and they know that they're, you know, kind of wanting to, like, they're all kind of like, oh yeah, booze, and you know, they're 12. I know what I was doing at 12.
I was drinking out of my mom's liquor cabinet and hanging out in the park with Bruno Gerussi.
Eyeball on them, like, even though, and he's a pretty good kid, but like I said, he doesn't ever go over anywhere. Tonight's the first time this kid's probably slept over anywhere in like the last 3 years.
Oh, so you're really alone tonight?
Yeah, like I was.
Yeah, you at work?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Guy always works, eh?
Yep. He was home for 7 days. He just left on Sunday, but yeah, he's back up in Grand Prairie. So yeah,
my sister has moved to Clive, Alberta. Yeah.
Nice little shithole. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Her boyfriend has a good job there. He does scaffolding and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, that's a good job too. Yep. Then that's trades are needed, really, you know, like that, trades like plumbing and electricians and.
That's not far from you, is it?
Well, Clive is about probably 8 hours from me because I'm in Cranbrook, right? Like I'm not in Alberta, right? I mean, but I'm on the Alberta.
You're on the cusp. You're right on the border, aren't you?
Well, kind of. Like I'm 2 hours from the Alberta border.
Yeah.
So like, but I'm in the southeast corner where Clive is kind of central Alberta, so it's by Red Deer, kind of that area. So that's about 8 hours.
Never been. Yeah. She said to me, you'll be 24 hours or 21 hour drive instead of 36 hours. That's all she said.
Yeah, because it's kind of it's in central Alberta, kind of by Red Deer, up in that area, right? But yeah,
I don't know if I'm up that high or not, but I'm looking forward to the sky. I like the sky. I like the skies in Hastings because there's very little noise.
That's one thing about Alberta that I miss is the big sky, the flat, the sunrise, and the sunset. Because here with the mountains, you get beautiful, but you don't like. It's different. It's just different. They're beautiful, but they're just different, right?
So the whole land structure is different up there versus down here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, like up there, you're
too, right? Like even northern British Columbia or Alberta, like it's totally different from south. Like it's just totally different.
I've never been. I was at the Whistler when I was really young, but we flew in there and then left.
I'd never been north until Sarah moved up to Fort St. James, which is up north of Prince George. Even like it's like 14 hours for me. So when Sarah and Sean moved to that, they're really isolated. They went off grid, and you probably heard that Maya had passed away. Maybe not Al, but Maya had passed away 2 years ago here in August. And she was 14, I think. Yeah, 14. It's been 2 years, I guess. No, maybe it's just a year. It's a year, almost a year. Anyways, but they moved up there, and I'd never been up north that far, and it's beautiful up there. Like it's not like mountainous like it is here, but there's lots of forest and trees, and they've got like hills and stuff. But it's just totally different, but absolutely beautiful too. So the difference is, you know, and I imagine it's the same up northern Ontario as well.
Well, like I said, I don't know if I'm up that high as that. But
they have the internet up there.
Yeah. Yep. Shot, actually. Yep.
Where is it?
I asked all these questions. Believe me. It's 2.5 hours shy. It's kind of in between Wawa and Thunder Bay.
I'm googling a map.
Google it. It's got the I can't remember the name of the falls, but it's there in the gorge and that.
What is Whitefish?
There's the state island or something like that. Is 13 kilometers out on Lake Superior, and then
you're like right near the water too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
you're on Lake Superior. This is Lake Superior.
Right on Superior, yeah.
Isn't there a spot up somewhere up around Wawa where it says that the water now heads north instead of south?
You're north, but that's not very north.
I have no idea. I just know that there's one reservation near Wawa that has cannabis. That's it.
Okay, so Al, if you drove straight west, you're in the same latitude as I am.
Okay, so the stars are going to be fucking awesome then.
Not really. You're not far enough north for any of that.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're not anywhere near.
I'll have to move higher.
Oh yeah, if you want that, you have to up to Hudson Bay, like up past Hudson Bay. But yeah, you're on the same latitude. Like I'm just looking at the map. You're at the tip of Lake Superior. So if you drove directly, you're almost on the U.S. border, and I'm 45 minutes from the U.S. border. But if you drew a line directly across and drove west, we're about the same exact
My sister's up higher then, because she's seen the freaky skies
Northern Lights.
stuff,
The
right?
Northern Lights. Yeah, we don't get the Northern Lights here. When I lived in Coronation, Hannah, like that's northern, like central Alberta, we would see them, but Alvin gets them all the time because he's in Grand Prairie. So when I say, oh, but last year we got a very small glimpse of some of them here because there's so much seismic activity going on, but we don't get them off from where I am.
I've seen the Milky Way at the farm.
You definitely have some great skies.
Oh, yeah.
But not like no Northern Lights. You're not far enough north for that. Like it's just be looking at the map, right?
Well, I wish you had told me that before I bought this place.
Yeah. Now you just gotta look forward to no Northern Lights, but lots of snow.
You just have to. Yeah.
See, I have a partial view of the lake right from my from my porch, and here comes Stephen. Right on time, 9:00.
Time to feed me.
Yep.
He sees that fish on the wall.
Yep.
He's gone fishing.
It'll be different. There's no bank. There's no you've got to drive 2.5 to 3 hours depending on the like there's no fast food anywhere, which I'm actually looking forward to. You get real lazy in the city during COVID.
Yeah.
You may find though that like when I went from Campbellford to Marmora, yeah, okay, it's not wasn't a big distance, and wasn't way up north or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you in Campbellford, I was in a routine, knew where everything was, and walking to it, so on and so forth.
That's right.
And I had to change when I went to Marmora. So, hopefully you've got like a convenience store.
There's a convenience store. There's a couple of restaurants. There's no bank, but there's a post office and a place to buy your booze if you need it. And there's a weed store going into town.
You can buy booze everywhere.
Yes.
Raymond and McGrath, Alberta.
Well, up north in northern Ontario, you can buy booze at the corner store.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to
dry towns and all of Canada,
the bank, do they have like in Marmora? We didn't have a bank in Marmora, but what we had was a machine.
Yeah.
The TD banking ATM. That's all there was. That's all there is.
I think Dean said it was CIBC.
Right.
But you know what? I think the last time I went into the bank was to put in a U.S. check.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hardly ever go to the bank anymore. Like to go into a bank, to go. Just
I hated
accessing a machine all the time.
Is there anything else? No, I just want you to put this money in my account so I can get out of here, please. Okay, sir.
That's right. Yeah.
Is there anything else, sir? No, I just finished what you're doing, please. I hate it.
Exactly.
But that's not from COVID. I mean, I miss going I will miss going shopping at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning at the 24-hour Dominion.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
what?
It's Metro now.
Oh, we don't have any of that.
Yeah, but it's something my mom and I used to do. We would go shopping in the middle of the night, and sometimes we would go to the 24-hour Home Depot because they had a 24-hour Harvey's in there. So we would go at 4 o'clock in the morning and have hamburgers and walk around Home Depot and buy shit to fix stuff up in her house, right?
How much weed had you smoked before you got there?
I didn't smoke much back then. There was a 10-year period when I didn't have access, and I literally started smoking daily when I moved to Mount Forest because it was everywhere. I had a dealer in place the day I went to see the house. He happened to be at the house I was viewing. So, hey,
that's the new place.
This is in Mount Forest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I happened to walk in there with the real estate agent as a pot deal was going on. And I said, have you got another one of those? As I walked by jokingly. And he said, as I was leaving, do you want one? I can help you out. So I was like, cool. So when I moved there, we became good friends. We're still friends.
Awesome. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
You always stay friends with your drug dealer.
Well, you try to. Anyway, but like since legalization, things have really dried up here as far as any illegal. sales. Everybody goes to the store now. I had to
I go to the res. I mean,
we've got that option here too, right? So we have like 10 stores in town, one out at the res.
Mhm.
Try and compete with that as a black market. You can't. So
No.
it was like, okay, I'm hanging up my scale. It
We're
was a
st-
hard pill to take, but I had
we're
to hang
still
it
having our markets here. There's still a lot of markets going on in Toronto
and not here.
and in Hamilton. As I gave Al an article there while we were waiting for you to come in about allowing sampling. So, I think we were talking about that already.
Yeah, outdoor consumption at an event.
Yes.
That's coming up in Toronto, and they're going to allow some outdoor consumption. Whereas,
Did you see Ted and everybody out west of that convention that they've got going on in Vancouver?
Speaking of Ted, happy birthday, Ted! It's his birthday
that's
today.
right. Yes, that's right.
I see him and Owen, and I've seen that Robert was there too, and they're all out there, and they say it's the best convention they've been at for a few years. So maybe things, like I said,
Robert was hanging out with Jim Belushi.
Right.
Yeah.
So things are, that's the thing. You got some bigger names that are, getting into. Like I said, it's not. We all know it's not exactly what we want it to be, but I keep bringing up the thing, and it's like probably more like 120,000 less arrests now, rather than it was 60,000 like 6 months ago. So as the numbers go up. And then when you look at the fact that the BC cannabis stores raised over $5,000 to help the Ukrainians in a month, and that was just from the cannabis store like donations, and they're making money, and you can't dispute the fact that that money is being used for infrastructure and all the budgets and all the extra money, and
government doesn't care though.
Like I said, it is what it is, and it's not going to change. It's not going to go back to what it was.
The legacy market will never be what it was, but it's still very much there, and it's very much competing. And I think that after a little while, there's going to be a little bit of give, and they have to come up with another alternative, because if they had allowed the legacy part of the cannabis community in Canada to move into the legal market like they said they were going to do.
But look at how many are already, though. Look at how many that are actually.
There are some, but
there are some brands that are gone, like Thompson Caribou. They were absorbed into the legal market, I believe.
Lisa Campbell with Moodbring. Look at Matt Barron. Look at Kirk Tuso. Look at all of them that have turned over, and they're all in the legal market now. Like every single one of them. Brown included, like every single one of them have got jobs in the legal market, including Marcel and your other partner there. Who's
no, Marcel does not. Marcel works on his own. He is no longer with the legal market.
Well, I didn't. Sorry, but again, like look at how many of them have, because they didn't really get much choice. And the thing is too, I know the legacy market and the microcrafting out here has really opened up. Like they can deliver now out here. Like you literally can phone up your cannabis store and say, "Hey, I need this, this, and this," and they can bring it.
I go. You know what? I don't rave about them, but when I shop in Toronto, I go to Canna Cabana because they have good prices, and I have discovered that after how many years of going, I have discovered that companies like Hexo, who are having issues as a company, they grow good weed. And it's not great weed, but you know what? My options are very flat. I either go to the legal store or I go to the res. Do I like $55 ounces? Sure, I do.
Sure.
And they're not bad. I'm sure you've tried it out, right? Tim Barnhart says that you can get $10 ounces out on Tanganyika, but that's not always the best.
You're paying. Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I find that some of the dispensaries in Alderville have good product. It burns nice and white. It doesn't choke me out. And yes, it's outdoor usually, but it's what I can afford, right? Until I get my grow
stuff set up, I'm at the mercy of the legal market, because unfortunately there's not a lot of reservations up there that have cannabis, and I'm actually surprised about that.
Yeah,
because it's First Nations, and
Well,
although
First Nations, they don't have the access. Tenanga is like Legacy 420 is an anomaly. It is a one-off.
Yep.
Because I know out here, like even out here,
not so much now. They were, but not so much now. There's a lot of Legacy 420s now.
there might be, but not in British Columbia. So I'm saying we've got Indigenous Bloom out here, which is in the Okanagan only. The tuna store that we've got out here on the res here is a small little trailer.
Yep.
They usually have a maximum of 20 strains. They're trying to grow it themselves. They don't always have the best stuff. They're making their own edibles. They don't have any clue on
But
dosing.
they're doing it for themselves, and there's nobody saying, "Hey, give me this, give me that." Yeah.
We're charging 7% tax. And where's the tax going? The band has not sanctioned them. So I have a hard time with some of them. There's still some people out there, I don't care whether
they don't charge tax in Alderville.
They're charging.
I'm going to
ask him where his money's going to. He doesn't have an answer.
What I'm going to do on my journey up north is stop at all the various different reservations to see what they have there, because there's Sault Ste. Marie, Wawa. There is one about 2 hours on the other side, closer to the border of Thunder Bay. But yeah, I don't know. There's not. I'm looking forward to setting up a room where I can play and do stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that maybe,
I'll miss the farm, but it's different, and being there alone all the time is probably not a healthy idea for me.
Much quieter though.
No, I think that it'll be very quiet where I'm going. I'm in town, but I'm at the edge of town, right on the forest. So I'll hear a little bit of noise, because the Trans Canada Highway goes right through Terrace Bay.
Town.
Yeah. And there'll be a little bit of white noise from the town, and the fact that I have a fucking light right in front of my fucking house.
Oh, the street light.
Yeah, I didn't see any lights going down the road, and I'm like, right there in front of me.
Well, maybe sometime coming home late at night, they come in handy.
I'll get lost. They're just down the road, so I'm not. It's not like I'm going to be going too far. And like, I told Dean's rides his bike, and I'm like, I don't have a bike. I'm going to get a Vespa and follow you around. But you'll see me driving around on my lawn tractor, because I'll be,
yeah,
just that's my it'll be my cart.
Yeah, that's right. You got a trailer for it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
know in Marmora, I would see the guy riding lawnmower into the town dump.
There's if you go into Hastings in the afternoon over by the Chinese food restaurant, you'll see 3 or 4 of them with guys having coffee out front. Yeah. You see them all the time. And then every now and then they mingle with the mobile chair guys.
Right. Oh, shit.
Driving minivans out here.
What's that?
I said all our old guys are still driving minivans around out here.
I thought about getting trading in the Santa Fe and getting a caravan kind of thing, right? Like a VW camper or something like that. But they're fucking $60,000 for fuck's sake.
Oh, I know. Even if you want to buy an old used one, you're still paying big bucks.
20, and then it's rusted out and you need to fix it. There's another 40 that goes into it, so or more.
Oh, I know. Yeah. My husband just bought himself a fat truck, and it's a pretty penny.
I just started watching a show because I've got 6 months free of Disney, and it's truck drivers who, when they're not hauling, they're racing, and I just couldn't get into it. I tried. I've been watching Drain the Ocean.
Drain the Ocean.
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
It's a documentary on history, and they drain the ocean with LiDAR and stuff like that, radar.
The crap that they would find if they drained the ocean, I can just imagine.
Well, no, our ocean is like only been mapped. Like there's still like 90% of our oceans that they've never mapped a track.
Yeah, but these are the guys that are doing that out there, and they're what they do is they use a LiDAR or LiDAR or whatever it's called, and they grid map everything, and then they put computer generation into it, and it creates a map like 20 miles deep or whatever. And I just watched one about finding the 12 kids that were stuck in the cave in Thailand, I think it was.
Yeah.
I watched that. That was quite interesting how they got them out of there, but they had to map everything to find out where they were.
In the interim, when they were doing that, they actually found an actual really live coral reef, but it's actually 300 and some feet below like anywhere else, because they can actually go and start, like, because the depths of the ocean are so deep that there's some like spots they've never been able to get to.
Well, now they're going down with the remote stuff, right?
Right. And they found a whole brand new, like, it's coral reef, and it's like and thriving, and but it's so deep down that this is the first time maybe they've ever been able to find it, right? Yeah, that's a really interesting show. I watch that too. Yeah, it's a good one. There's a lot of good stuff on history.
Expedition is good too.
Yeah.
He goes and does stuff all over the world.
That's the Jacques Cousteau's grandson, I think.
Is it really? Brian, is it Brian something? I can't remember his last name.
Jacques Cousteau's grandson that's doing the same thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah. His shows are on there as well.
Yeah.
I used to watch Jacques Cousteau when I was a kid.
I was a kid, yeah.
I thought he was great.
Look, I sat here and I binge watched The Zoo.
You're binge watching the war. That's,
I recently watched Elizabeth, and it's different clips,
too, right?
different clips and stuff like that of the Queen's life, and then I watched one on 1 second. Fuck off, cat.
My dog's been quiet. Have you seen The Crown? Another good one.
The Crown? Yes, I've watched. I'm waiting for the next season. Yes, I like The Crown.
A really good one too.
Yep. I like documentary type of stuff.
This is actually something like when you're talking like, this is a book they're letting children, like our kids, read in school. It's about Afghanistan and what's going on in the war over there. And this is, like I said, there's so many things going on, but The Crown and all these history shows are something that our kids should be watching, and that's what we need to be promoting for them, is watching all that stuff about the sea, and because there's so much garbage out there.
When we were kids, and Al will attest to this because he's my age. When we were kids, we were literally outside exploring. Maybe in the city, but wherever we were, I happened to have a big park behind my house, and we were out there all the time. Sometimes up to mischief, sometimes not. I mean, I literally used to sit and chat with Bruno Gerussi. Do you know who that is?
Yep.
Okay. I do. Al, do you know who that is?
Name sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Bruno Gerussi was the lead in Beachcombers, but he also had the first celebrity cooking show.
Yes.
And he used to sit in the park on a bench where I used to hang out in the park and drink wine. And I used to deliver his newspapers. That's how I knew him. And we would hang out with him, and he would talk about the business and stuff like that. This is when he lived in Toronto, obviously. And Toronto was, like I said, it was a very different place. Being in Yorkville, all the stores were in houses at the time. And I just watched one of the other things I watched is a demolition company that's in Toronto. Can't remember the name of it now. And they just took down some of the old buildings in Yorkville that I saw going up when I was a kid.
Oh, shit, eh?
Like
we come up, now you get to see them come down.
You'd walk down the street in Toronto, and there were wall-to-wall people, shoulder to shoulder. Did you go to the city much, Al, when you were younger?
Yeah, I did. I started probably like when I was I'm gonna say 12, running the subways and stuff, the buses from Mississauga, and heading downtown to Nathan Phillips Square and things like that.
And the forum and the CNE
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's not the same anymore. I mean, I'm going to miss it,
No.
but I'm not going to miss it. I'm ready for, and the only reason I'm doing this is, I'm having a hard time, obviously, leaving the kid. But they're both at the age where, I mean, Emily's 18 now, David's 16. They don't need me anymore. It's time for them to live their own life. I'll pay for a flight to come up and visit if I can, if not, you don't have a job, you can get on a plane. I mean, Flair has flights up there for $29 return. So
$29.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw 29. I saw 78. I've seen 378. So I think it's a matter of when you look what day, right? But Flair's that cheap network, and I've heard some good things, and I've heard some not so good things. So
I can see maybe squishy seats. It's the reliability of the equipment is important. Yeah. Well, I was just on the news just there today or yesterday. There was some new plane company over in Europe, I think, where a plane came down and landed on its belly. Caught on fire.
Yeah, that happens now and then.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Just glad I'm not on that plane.
You don't usually hear much about plane crashes unless they're dramatic and the whole crew goes. I mean, if it's a belly flop and the thing's sliding across the the runway to a stop, and everybody gets out and everybody goes home or wherever they've got to go, you don't generally hear it unless you're watching those plane crash videos on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
They come up on the reels. I get up at 2:00 in the morning and I'm going through the reels, and the next thing it's 5:00. What the fuck? The short videos.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I see we're beyond the bottom of the hour. Gone beyond that.
Yeah, we do that. Ugh.
Keep me awake. Long day tomorrow. Just so you know, we were talking earlier about the podcasting, different podcasts and stuff like that. Scott does one. St. Patty's Day there, Scott. He does one. And this is a news flash from him. It says the THCNNN reports this just inhaled. Yoko Ono apparently is totally screwing up the St. Patty's Day rollers. More news at 10:17. He was, for those who don't know him, Scott's been involved in creating content for TVs and radios, and he's always got a humorous side. He's been doing it for over 30 years. So
right on.
You have to.
Lots of us have seen his material without even realizing.
There's a lot of egos in this industry. You have to be funny about it.
Yeah. All righty. Well, shout out time, Al. Where can people find you?
At 420radio.ca or lifestyleradio.ca.
All right.
And
radio show.
420 radio show is at 7 p.m. Eastern time on our station, as well as Facebook, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to throw in there during the shout out?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
All right. Okay. Tamara?
Nothing. No, actually, I'd like to thank Al for coming on the show. It's been a while since I've seen and talked to him, and I appreciate everything that you did and got my show started. And now I'm not really doing that show. I'm co-hosting with Al now, so now it's kind of like since, like I said, it's been 117 days of war, and I've been running every day since the beginning of it. And that's but I chose to put my energy somewhere else with cannabis, and then I got the job. So this is like the job is only like a month old, but it just kind of started with the war in Ukraine. I was so pissed off about so many things, and I had to put my energy somewhere, and that's what I did. But cannabis, like I said, the whole restaurant thing, I've always wanted infused foods. This is,
infused foods.
Like we go to a bistro and you can order a salad with infused, balsamic vinegar dressing, or you know what I mean, or you have bread and infused everything, right?
You can go to Thailand and get a friggin' pizza leaf on your pizza. You get a leaf on a pizza in Thailand.
Now you
get
can.
that here.
Yeah, no.
Can you?
Not
yeah,
here.
well, it's legal there now.
It's not legal. Anything
I
that's
think it's actually legal there, not like here.
yeah, right. It's not just whatever it is.
Is it? I believe it's legal for anybody to have it, but you can't grow it
or sell
it. They've changed things where you have to register, and they said within the first 2 days there was like 32 million hits or something like this on their website.
Wow,
it was just phenomenal. And they gave away 1 million plants, and then they've realized that they didn't have very many regulations in place, so they turned around and put in some regulations where things such as you can grow 10 plants or something like that. At one time, there was no numbers.
So. Yeah, we were talking about it, and I can't remember what was said, just because
Yeah, there's no mind you, they have a THC cap of like 0.2%.
Yeah.
We've had Ken Tovich from Floramax on the show a few times, and he's from here, but he's usually in Australia. That's where he lives. And there's lots of stuff going on in Australia, which is nice to see. I'd love to. At one time, there were people all over that would talk to each other, and you'd find out what's going on here and what's going on there, and what's going on here and what's going on. That doesn't happen anymore. The networking has stopped in a lot of cases, right?
Guys in Australia. I still keep in contact with Murray and Carolyn and the guys at Nimbin at the hemp embassy and stuff. They've actually gone pretty much medical. It's like gone medical. So Murray can buy himself like, an ounce of cannabis, which is actually from Canamed, because Canamed went down to Australia and set up a licensed production site.
Oh, did they?
Yes. So, but it costs them exuberant amounts of money, and it has to all be doctor signed. They can only get it a certain time per month. Like, so it's as restricted as our, like we were with the LP, MMPR system that they were trying to implement here. It's kind of like that there. So they've gone into a medical mode, but nothing so far as legal. But Francis and they're still all working on it. So
I find it hilarious that all these countries who have been watching Canada go through this, because we, kind of been there, done that, and they're now implementing things that Canada has already changed because it didn't work out so well. So it'll be funny, not funny, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the US as opposed to Europe, as opposed to other places in the world, right?
Yeah, well, a Facebook user just sent a comment, and he says, just free the plant already. It's a plant, for frig's sakes.
Exactly. And I 100% agree with that. But I mean, even here, like we still have the limit of the 4 plant. Anything over 4 plants, you're going to still go to jail for 14 years, which is bullshit. Yeah. Any way you look at it, right? And if you're, caught with something off the res that doesn't have a fucking tag on it, you're still going to get busted for possession. And that's another thing that people don't get. Even though you think, you're going to the res and it's supposed to be, it's sovereign land and it's legal, get caught with that and see what happens to you. You're going to get nailed with possession. An illicit fucking substance, just like and you can't say, hey, I grew up myself, when it's got a label on it from the res, right? And that's the unfortunate thing.
I reuse Buddy's baggie.
Right? Yeah, but I mean, like I said, and same as people.
If it's not in one of these,
right? It's illegal. It's illegal.
It's illegal.
Yeah, and like again, I don't agree with that. I think that's fucking bullshit. But it's like it's like cigarettes. It's the same thing. Like you've got bootleg cigarettes, you got bootleg liquor, you got bootleg fucking cannabis. It's never going to.
You can be arrested for cigarettes too. I know people who have.
Yeah.
We just had a big bust here not too long ago in Revelstoke where they caught somebody bringing in Ontario, cigarettes out to British Columbia, no duty tags on them. They were, res cigarettes, and they got nailed.
That's pushing it. Going up to the res and coming home with enough weed for the month at a price that I can afford shouldn't be an issue.
You know what? It shouldn't, because you're a patient too, on top of it all.
And I always so I always
put it in your bags, put it into your own bag, and say it's your designated grower. That'd be your safest bet.
We had a funny argument the other day on the show last week. I said, keep your receipts. And I said, even from the res, because people are doing that. And Marcel was like, no, you can't do that. I said, why not? They're not going to notice. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you are a medical patient and have a medical license in Canada, you can claim up to it has to be over a certain amount on your tax for your cannabis. But it's such how much is it?
It goes in with your pharmaceutical. So any amount over $300,
yes,
whether it's your pharma, whether it's your cannabis.
But if I put down to the government that I'm paying $300 every month for my weed, like,
it doesn't make a difference.
Like,
you're eligible for the tax return or something.
It's like
it's a medical expense, right?
But it's like the truck. The truck's on a lease, right? We pay exuberant amounts of money for the lease payment a month, and the government, when we do taxes, will let us write off $800 a month, and his payment is triple that for the truck. But you can only claim $800 a month for the fucking lease on the truck. So it's a medical expenses. You know what they told me at the tax place? The minute you start claiming any medical expenses, they'll fucking audit you. So don't even bother. And that's what they told H&R Block. If you want to, like, it's not
they claim medical expenses all the time.
Yeah, but they will, like, that's what she said. Someone told me.
According to a Facebook user friend, he says that you can claim it, but you have to earn more than $40,000 a year before it lessens your tax owing.
Right.
We don't. I don't claim my cannabis.
There's that loophole for the government.
But here's the thing: $40,000 now is like basic poverty. And I know there's lots of people that live well below 40,000.
Oh yeah, well, patients.
I'm making.
What friggin' patient gets $40,000 a year?
That used to be the
12 and maybe 14.
You make $41,000 a year, and that's what it is. If you make $41,000 a year, you're no longer eligible for any subsidies for daycare, any subsidies for pharmacare, any subsidies for anything. Ask me, I fucking know. We are cut off all that shit. I get $90 a month for fucking Taven for child tax benefit when everybody else is getting $500 and $600 a fucking kid. And I make zero cash. But because Alvin works in the patch, makes whatever amount of money on paper, he pays $40,000 a year in income tax. So my husband pays $40,000 a year in income tax, which is the bottom line for anybody else to not get subsidies. So when in reality, you might make $160,000 on paper, you take $40,000 off for income tax, you're still in poverty, for fuck's sakes. It's bullshit. And we pay more income tax than anybody else because you're over that $120,000 mark. But and then you add 9 to it now. We're fine.
This Facebook user buddy there, they agree. Most ODSP people, who are the ones,
Oh, don't worry about it, Rob. Doug Ford said he's going to raise
$15,000 a year.
And you know what kills me is that they gave CERB at $2,000 a month. Yet anybody that's living on social assistance or disability, it's less than that. So you figure,
and it can cause big time troubles for your ODSP specifically.
Right?
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing that the conservatives are trying to say, that if you give people money, it's going to make the inflation rate go higher because they're going to bring out more demand and the supply will go down. So the inflation rates will go higher. So the conservatives are trying to stop the government giving anybody any help right now because they're not going to approve it because
that was Dougie Fat Boy's one thing that he said he was going to do was help people on disability. And I'd like to see when that's going to happen, because this is $12.55 is what I get on my ODSP every month.
It's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's
one of the reasons why I'm moving. I can't afford this apartment.
Can't afford it. Like when rent is $2,000, $2,500 a month. How do you?
My rent is $1,000 a month, pretty much, just over $1,000 a month, and then you got your hydro and your cable, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, here as a homeowner, with because of the interest rates going up, my mortgage has gone up from $611 a year or a month to $699 a month. I know that seems really low but I mean, we only paid $160,000 for this house 10 years ago, right? So our mortgage, and we had a certain amount
paid
left
it off already, yeah.
Right, and now we pay it down. So there's only $80,000 left owing on this house. My mom says, well, you can go get a mortgage for $120,000 and it pays it out. And then we're our name's off. But I'm like, I'm going to get a fucking mortgage right now. Are you fucking on crack? You see what their interest rates are doing? It's like 1983 all over again. And that's when you lost your house in Lethbridge and you're going to set me up for failure? Not happening, old lady. So, yeah.
All righty. We started to say goodbye 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I see this. Okay, bye.
All right. You want to throw anything else out there, Al, before I finish up?
No, man. Thanks for having me, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Yes.
There will be more coming.
Yes. Right. Just a reminder that everybody know that Glenn and I are on tomorrow morning with Reefer Reporters. You can catch us at 10 o'clock, and Tamara and I will return next week with a special guest. Pace Radio Show. You can find us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. Thanks to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, drbuckcts.com, BMAhydroponics.com, and the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Plus, thanks to our guest, Rapp, for the 420 Radio Show and 420radio.ca. Thanks for coming on to the broadcast and talking to us. Really appreciate that. And Tamara, thank you. And to our listeners and watchers, thanks for tuning in. Other than that, we will see everybody shortly.
Good night. See you next week.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.